Welcome to Celebration Conversations. I'm your host, Sarah Taylor Young. Join me each week as I talk to singer-songwriters, artists, and friends about how they have turned their pain into purpose. Here at Celebration Conversations, it is my hope that you find motivation and celebration in your own journey. Let's get to it. Welcome to our home studio here.
Welcome to our green screen.
Yeah, right. So tell me a little bit about how you got started with music. You said you're originally from Alabama.
Yeah, originally from Alabama. Moved to Georgia actually for a little bit, and that's actually kind of where I got my start in music. Started in like church choir, things like that. Me and my family got really active into like the community theater program in Georgia while we lived there. And I just loved it. Loved being on the stage, that kind of stuff. And then we moved back to Alabama, where we're originally from in Alabama. Doesn't really have much of a theater program, anything like that. So just kind of continued in church until I was about 14, I guess. And I started writing and decided I wanted to learn to play guitar and started doing that. I actually saved up all of my, like, all summer. I watered plants for our neighbors that were out of town, like fed dogs, all that kind of stuff, and saved up enough money to buy like a cheap, like $250, $300 guitar and started teaching myself.
Wow.
And once I did that, Mom was like, well, I'll put you in guitar lessons. Like, it's like, I was like, okay. So she put me in guitar lessons, picked it up really quickly. And then I started traveling to Birmingham to play shows down there because there were actually venues down there. And then before my senior year of high school, I went to my parents and I was like, look, I want to do this. And if I want to do this, I need to be serious about it. So I'm going to move to Nashville. And they were like, oh, okay. And like agreed to it because they were like, she's not going to actually do this. I don't think they really thought that I was going to go through with it. But I did. I went to my counselor and I was like, I need to do online school and I need to graduate by December. And she was like, well, we can do online school. She was like, you have to go through the whole process, but we can do online school, but it's still a year program. And I was like, okay. And I was finished in November.
Wow.
Graduated in December.
Wow.
And was up here 6 months later. So
wow. So you just recently graduated.
I've been in Nashville for well, I just passed my 3-year anniversary. So I graduated in 2018. Okay. Technically, I walked, like I graduated May of 2018. That was my class.
Gosh, I feel so old.
How's it feel?
You should feel
How
older.
does it feel?
No. Yeah, he's 5.5 years older than me.
Yeah. Which she constantly reminds me of.
Yes. But
I can see that.
Well. Yes, you wear it so well, dear. So I listened to Hey Cupid. I really, really loved the song. We both listened to it, actually. So such a timely message. Tell me about the inspiration kind of behind that song, where it came from.
Yeah. So me and one of my friends, Christy Huff, who actually co-wrote a few of my other songs with me, she was in town last year at around Valentine's Day. She was here for about 2 weeks. She lives in LA. And we had a writer's round together. She was like, I don't have anything to do this weekend. She's like, I was like, I don't have anything to do this weekend. Both terribly single at the time. And so we decided to just like go get dinner on Valentine's Day. We were like, we'll just be Galentines.
There you go.
And we're sitting there at the table, which we should have expected this. I don't really know why we didn't think this through. But we're sitting there at the table and we're just like, we are totally the only like single people out tonight. For sure. Like there's nobody else that we have seen at all inside the restaurant, outside the restaurant, anywhere. We're the only single people out in Nashville tonight, apparently. And we just had a good laugh about it. And I went home and I was like, you know what? We need a single people's anthem.
There you go. Yeah.
So I just sat down and wrote it.
Yeah, I love that. I love, Valentine's Day. We just came across Valentine's Day. Probably not by the time this airs, but,
it's such a singles awareness day. Like
It is.
I almost feel guilty that I'm married, even because
I don't.
You don't. Well,
I don't feel guilty at all.
No, you don't. Well, I guess
It's
because
like, I'm lucky to have you.
Yeah.
well, we've been, we've had those Valentine's Day. I guess we've paid our dues.
We've had a good 10 of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. No, we've had our Valentine's Days where we weren't together and
We weren't together?
where we were single and
Where we're dating.
no.
Wait, I'm so confused at this point.
Individually, we've both had.
Before we met?
Yes.
Yes, I had many Valentines before we met.
So it's like we paid our dues or something, I guess.
Yeah.
Before, so
Mhm.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it is kind of a lonely holiday. Well, I'll say this: it can be if you let it. I think it's a
Oh yeah.
So I think it's awesome that you and your girlfriend were just like, this is Galentine's Day, because it doesn't have to be a romantic kind of thing.
Yeah.
It could just be,
Not at all.
between you and your girlfriend or you and your dog or, something like that. Your face.
Yep.
You won't ever see two guys saying, hey, you want to go celebrate Galentine's Day? Let's go eat supper somewhere.
Maybe not, but
You don't have to like call it Galentine's Day for you, but like you can still like go out and like have a drink or something like that, or just like
Yeah.
not sit at home.
Sure.
yeah.
I think it has more of an effect on women than it does men.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Maybe.
Like men are just like, it's another day.
Yeah, like whatever.
Like, didn't your dad give your mom? Your dad didn't give your mom
I'm sure he did.
flowers.
I'm
No, she
sure
had
he
to buy
did.
those herself.
Let's move on. Let's just move on.
He learned what not to do.
My dad is a great dad.
Yes, he is. Just doesn't always remember things. Like,
He's not the romantic type.
not really.
Yeah, I
No.
got you.
Yeah, but Adam,
Okay.
for some reason, he very much is. I don't know where he got that from, but anyway,
Just lucky, I guess.
just lucky, I guess. Yes. So, tell me about a time in your life where you feel like you found freedom in an area of your life, whether it be relationships or, those kinds of things. Often I get
Yeah.
artists on here and they're writing because they've been through stuff. That's their creative outlet. So just tell me a little bit about that if you want to.
Yeah. I grew up in a great hometown. Don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say, but it's a very small town mentality.
Right.
So like you do one of two things. You go to trade school and you go into the workforce and you start settling down and having a family and X, Y, and Z. Or you go to college and then you do the exact same thing.
Right.
So
It's just a
when
little
I
bit
just-
after,
yeah, it's just 4 years later. But it's very, what was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought
I'm
completely.
sorry.
Small town.
Small
Okay.
town.
Oh, good. Yes. So when I was doing music and it was like, I want to do this as my career, I was 17, 18. So everybody was already like, oh, well, what are you going to college for? What are you majoring in? Do you know what you want to do with your life yet? And, I mean, even the stuff that we had, before graduation, when we would have like awards day and honors day and things like that, like they want to know. They want to know where you're going to college, what you're majoring in, what your career path is going to be. And I'm just over here like, music,
Peace out. Yeah.
music. Yep. And I came up here and it was just a few weeks after I had moved. And I went to a writer's round just to like meet people, network, you know how it goes. And
Yeah.
everybody was like, introducing yourself and everything. You're meeting new people. And first question was, how old are you? Because I was sneaking in the back door, wasn't really supposed to be there. Like, not only was I not 21, I was not 18 yet.
Right.
Like, I wasn't legally an adult. And so that was the first question. And then the second question was, like, oh, well, what do you do? Like, are you just an artist? Are you a songwriter, this, that, the other? And like everybody that I met, I was like, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter. They're like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, that's it? You're not gonna,
Right.
you're not gonna like question me like why I'm not going to school or like this. And I just felt like that was so amazing. And I came here and it was just like that was the norm. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to school if you don't want to, if it's not beneficial for you. You know, everybody's like figuring out their own path. They are not worried about judging what yours is, or they're just like, awesome. Yeah, I do music too. Like, let's swap numbers. And that's it. And I was like, that's so awesome. I was like, I found my people.
Right. Welcome. You're inducted. Yes.
Yep. So I feel like that was kind of the first time that I was like, okay, like this is not like, yes, it might be out of the norm for the majority of people, but there are also a lot of people that do this that want to do this too. So it's cool. I was like, I found my place. Let's get to work.
Yes. I definitely felt that way. Did you feel that way when you graduated high school?
Oh gosh, it was so long ago. I don't remember. No, when I graduated high school, I went to technical school, ITT technical school, and I learned electronics engineering. So it was I didn't really have like a zone path I knew I was going to follow. I just like, I need to get a degree, I need to get a job. So that's what my goal was.
I need to make money.
I need to make money somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very much like my story too. I went into music education. I wanted so badly to like go to Belmont. I got accepted, just couldn't afford
I did
it.
too.
Yes.
Same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just super expensive. And, you know, my mom was a single mom at the time.
You hear that, Belmont? You're too expensive.
Adam Lee.
Just saying.
We'll cut that out. Yeah, so I, you know, and I was kind of afraid of the music business too. Like my dad was a songwriter back in the day, and he was just like, you don't want to get involved in it. And, you know, but there was still this something inside of me that was like, no, this is a dream of mine, and I feel like I need to pursue it. Is that kind of how you felt?
Thankfully, I don't know if it was at the age that I was, or if I was, no, it's just my personality. I tend to, I tend to barrel into things a little bit and just
Okay.
like jump in head first and not really think about the consequences of what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of like, this is what I want to do. All right, let's go do it. Let's just go 100% all in, just go for it. So I honestly, and I have two parents that are in the medical field. They're both physical therapists. So they were a little bit like, okay, like your guy supports you, but like, are you sure? They were like, I was like, oh yeah, we're just doing it. We're just going for it. And it's kind of a miracle that it all worked out, because I mean, like, I moved here not knowing anyone, not having a job, not really having a place to live. I like crashed on somebody's couch, pretty much, actually a spare bedroom, for the first like 3 or 4 months that I was here, until I could like get a job and get an apartment and everything. So I really moved here with, I mean, like, literally not knowing anyone and just being like, this is what I want to do. Let's go do it. So I didn't think about it. Like, looking back, I'm like, that was kind of crazy. Like, really, you probably should have had a few things, you know, planned out first, but it worked out. And I just thankfully did not have that hesitation going into it. It was just kind of go for it.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm the kind of person that analyzes everything. You know, it's got to be thought through. Stop shaking your head. It's got to be strategically thought through. And my friend Karen Williams calls it paralysis by analysis. That's what she says. So so it's like you paralyze yourself because you're analyzing so much. And I honestly, I wish I had more of that you have in you. Just do it, you know. Stop analyzing everything. It doesn't have to be thought through. And you know, sometimes you just have to do that. Just do it, like Nike says. I mean, Nike got it right. Right.
Great
Exactly.
Tagline, Nike.
Yes, we can promote Nike too.
We'll expect our free shoes.
Yeah, we want free shoes. Uh, how did you get started with songwriting? Was that something that kind of developed while you were in high school?
It was kind of random. It was probably like into middle school, first of high school.
Okay.
I was probably 13 or 14. And I mean, I had always loved singing, but it had never like occurred to me that like I could like write a song. It's just like my brain just I don't know, just didn't comprehend that. And so but I just remember like one day I was my mom or dad had like sent me outside to like do some kind of chores in like yard work kind of stuff. And I was out there and I was just like doing whatever I was doing. I feel like I was like raking leaves or something like that off the driveway. And this like melody popped in my head. And then these lyrics started popping in my head. And I was like, okay, I gotta go lay this down. So or write this down. So I laid the rake in the driveway and went inside and I was just like scribbling in a notebook. I couldn't even tell you what that song was about at this point. Looking back, I would probably say that it was trash, but it was like, oh, like this is something that I could do. And so I just started like listening to as much music as I could, like paying attention to what other writers were doing and you know, how they were, you know, crafting these songs and just started trying to write them. And I don't feel like my writing really progressed or kind of started getting better, honestly, until I moved here because there was nobody else that was doing it. There was nobody to co-write with, to feed off of, to get any information from. So I moved here and like the first year that I was here, I was just booking 2 to 3 rides a week, like just as much as I could because I was like a sponge. I was like,
Yeah.
give me all your information that I have not had access to. And so yeah, it was just kind of like this almost random start. It just kind of like popped into my head one day and I was like, oh, okay, well I've written one song.
I can
Let's
do it again.
yeah. And so I just started writing just in my room by myself. I would normally stay up until after my parents went to sleep because I was like the first year or so, I was like deathly terrified of them hearing what I was writing. Not that it was like super like personable or like they didn't know that stuff about my life, but it was like I need them to like not be in on this yet. And so it was probably a year or two after I started writing that I was like confident enough in it that I would be like, I'm gonna go write a song now. Like the first year or so, I was like, hide it, please. Like, but yeah, I think it took time for me to really kind of get my feet under me with it because I just didn't have anybody to co-write with, feed off of, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, have you ever been in the room with a pro writer at any time and you just feel like maybe intimidated or like, whoa, like that I'm not worthy, you know?
Not so much like intimidated. I think I really go into those kind of situations. Just like as long as I'm prepared, as long as I have like 2 or 3 ideas walking into it, I'm like, cool, we can at least like work off that. If I get in there without any like ideas kind of like predetermined or in like in my phone or something like that, I'll be very like almost shell shocked in the moment. Like I just can't get my brain to work.
Yeah.
And like I thought I had all these ideas, but sitting here now I don't have any. So I kind of, as long as I'm prepared beforehand, I really just go into it. I'm like, okay, well I have some ideas, I'm prepared, and just go into it like a learning situation. I'm like, I'm gonna learn as much as I can while I'm in this room. So not so much like an intimidation, but just kind of, if I'm prepared, I'm just like, I'm going in to get schooled today.
Right. Yeah.
For those of us non-singer songwriters, could you explain what a pro writer is?
So a pro writer is somebody, you know, who's got a publishing deal that like does this day in and day out.
It's like getting cuts with artists, things like that.
Oh, okay, so someone who's making like their 100% living off of just writing.
Yes, like
okay.
You know, they're signed with a publishing company, and I mean, you know, I'm a songwriter too. Gabby's a songwriter.
Yes,
you know,
that's why we're here.
But it's like we're singer-songwriters. There's a little bit of a difference. Like we're an artist, plus we write our own songs.
Okay.
Yeah, a pro writer is mainly one that's mainly just writing and producing like Brian.
Okay. To all you other non-singer-songwriters, you're welcome.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, dear.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, dear. So what would you say to somebody who's maybe just getting their feet wet with songwriting? What are some tips and tools that you've learned to use?
Yeah. Honestly, what helped me the most was getting in the room with other people. And it is a little bit hard at the beginning. There are a lot of people that that won't always take a ride with you because you're so inexperienced, but just find the people that will. It takes some work, don't get me wrong. But if you can kind of find those people that are willing to get into a room with you, don't always go into the situation of wanting this like amazingly beautiful song at the end of it. Just go into it to literally learn, soak up as much information as you can, and then take that into your next ride. Start applying it. That's kind of what helped me the most, honestly.
Yes.
And the more you do it, the better you get. So
the more you do it, yes, the better you get, and always bring food.
That's what I've heard.
And coffee.
Food
yeah.
and coffee.
That's also a good one.
Yes, bring food and coffee, your tablet or computer of choice, all that. Yep. How would you, if you were to look back and look at yourself and the steps you took to get where you are now as an artist and songwriter, what would you say to your past self that would encourage you to keep going, in those days where you felt discouraged?
Yeah. I feel like we as artists tend to compare ourselves with others. We tend to always think that we're the worst one in the room, which is fun. It's nice to be humble, but also just to have a confidence in yourself. Yeah, you might not be the best one in the room, but everybody's kind of on their own journey, on their own path. And at some point, all the people that are better than you are where you're at now. So just kind of just keep plugging away.
Just keep
chugging.
Yeah.
Everyone has to start from somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, like Dolly Parton even started from the humblest of beginnings.
Yes.
So yeah. So just keep going. Just keep pursuing.
Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. That's from one of your favorite movies. Meet
the Robinsons.
Yes. We love Disney.
I love that. That's great.
Yes. Cherie Spaltori, she's my mentor at Global Songwriters Connection, and she always tells me, stay in your lane. Like you're gonna see people who are moving 10 times faster than you are. Just stay in your lane, because if you play the comparison game, you're always going to lose. There's no maybe. You're always going to lose against
there's
somebody.
Always going to be, it doesn't matter if you're just like this fantastic, songwriter, if you've got a bunch of cuts, there's always going to be somebody that's better than you. And I mean, if you look for it, you're always going to find a way to come up short.
Yeah.
So just, be confident in where you're at and I saw this thing, actually, one of my friends, Justine Blazer, who co-wrote and produced my Christmas song with me. She posted on her Instagram, and it was this little graphic, and it was somebody on a ladder that had like little rungs. There were little steps, and it was like, take one step every day. And then there was a graphic right next to it that was this ladder with these big, like giant steps between the rungs, and the person couldn't even like get off the ground because they couldn't reach the first rung. And I was like, that's so true. Like, just take one step at a time, try to get better a little bit every day, and just keep going.
Yeah. Anna said it best. Just do the next right thing. From Frozen.
Frozen 2.
Yeah. Just do the next right thing. Yeah.
Like we said, we're big Disney fans.
We have a 4-year-old.
I can see.
We blame it on our 4-year-old.
Yeah,
sure.
No, She doesn't
Of
watch
course.
it. Like she's not watched all of the Disney movies. She loves her PJ Mask though. Have you heard of those superheroes?
They're little kids who fight crime at night in their pajamas.
PJ Masks.
So
Oh.
PJ
Yeah.
masks. It's real
Okay.
cute for kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. So tell me where can we listen to Cupid and Hey Cupid and stream it, all that fun stuff.
yeah. Hey Cupid and all my other music is on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, every other streaming platform you can think of.
Awesome.
So yeah, just look up my name, Gabrielle Metz. It'll pop right up. And then as for social media, my Instagram is Gabrielle Metz Music. And then everything else is Gab Metz Music. So just GABMETZ Music. And yeah,
Awesome.
I also have a website if you want to go there.
Yes. What is your website address?
Yeah, that's GabrielleMetz.com. And everything is there. So you can find my socials there, the links to my music. It's all kind of located in one place.
Sweet. Well, please do us the honor of playing Hey Cupid for us.
Absolutely. I'm going to make sure this is still in tune because
I was going to say, what kind of guitar do you have? I always like to ask. A Martin, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was recording in a different tuning last night. And so I got up this morning and I was like, oh, I've got to retune that because I'm going to forget and I'm going to start playing and be like, why does this sound like this? And so I started tuning and about 2 minutes later, it was like everything was sharp again. And I was like, oh. So it sounds like we're pretty good though.
Yeah.
Y'all hear the guitar and everything okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, well then this is Hey Cupid.
Awesome.
Mom and Dad been going since 95. And my best friend's falling and finding Mr. Right. While I'm punching this 9 to 5 without even a hand to hold mine. What's wrong with this picture? Well, let me be a little clearer. Hey Cupid, how come you're working for everyone else? Everybody's got somebody, can I be next? Hey Cupid, I know you're off the clock now, but could you please put in some overtime and help a girl out? Hey Cupid, I know you're busy, 'cause love's working for everyone but me. I've been rolling solo for 19 years, and it doesn't bug me, but love stories are all I hear. So I'm just biding my time, hoping and praying it'll all turn out alright. What's wrong with this picture? Let me be a little clearer. Hey Cupid, how come you're working for everyone else? Everybody's got somebody, can I be next? Hey Cupid, I know you're off the clock now, but could you please put in some overtime, help a girl out? Hey Cupid, I know you're busy, 'cause love's working for everyone but me. Let me give you credit where it's due. You can do some wonderful things when you want to. So hey Cupid, how come you're working for everyone else? Everybody's got somebody, can I be next? Hey Cupid, I know you're off the clock now, but could you please put in some overtime, help a girl out? Hey Cupid, I know you're busy. Hey Cupid, I know you hear me. 'Cause love's working for everyone but me. Oh, 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 oh.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on. We'll absolutely let you know when this airs, and I'll give you like
Thank
a sneak
you.
peek of, what's going on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. Where are you playing anywhere now? I know COVID's going on right now.
Right now, I have nothing scheduled in person, but that is subject to change at any moment.
Yes.
I've gotten several like random texts like, "Hey, can you come play next Tuesday?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." But yeah, it's kind of a weird time. So right now, I don't
Yes.
have anything scheduled. Like I said, subject to change.
Yes. Well, none of us are getting out with this ice storm. I mean, ice and snowstorm. So anyway.
Yep.
But thank you so much for being on, and we'll keep in touch.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a good day.
All right,
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey there, don't go just yet. Be sure to hit subscribe to be notified of new episodes of Celebration Conversations. Show us some support by liking and sharing to inspire followers and friends alike. Follow me at syoungmusic on Instagram. I would love if you left a comment or a review about the episode.